Chairman of the company one day called me and said, Paddy, you are in charge of the task force for refining and petrochemicals of our company for the next 5 years. The biggest decision was to produce a product which was not being made in India. For example, what we are trying to do is maximize aviation turbine fuel. We almost have about 15,000 employees. Finally, now refineries have to go to petrochemicals to diversify.
Today we are having as a guest Paddy, who is Chief Operating Officer at Stanlow Refinery Ester Oil Company. Paddy, nice to talk to you today.
Oh, pleasure is mine. Nice to be meeting you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Paddy, as far as I know, it produces 16% of fuels in the United Kingdom, and that's impressive. And if we talk about the numbers, it processes up to 9 million liters.
Million.
Yes, of raw material per day, which is 20,000 liters per minute, which is a lot. So are you planning to extend these figures?
I think the Stanlow Refinery is a very strategic refinery in UK because it's in the middle of the country and not many refineries are nearby. We supply aviation turbine fuel, the aircraft fuel to 3-4 airports there, Manchester being a very big thing. We are the sole suppliers, very, very strategic for the government of India. We are looking at different strategies. It is not about just increasing those figures, but it's more of value addition. We are trying to produce more valuable product.
And what kind of?
For example, what we are trying to do is maximize aviation turbine fuel because that's something which UK imports. So the more we produce and sell locally, the more value it is. Increasing the thing would be, unless value addition is there, we don't want to go and increase the capacity. So we are looking at various options. I think our people are working on it. We will increase it. I can't tell you by how much now. It is in the very premature stage, but definitely value addition we are looking at aviation because gasoline demands are going down. So how to make some valuable other products, petrochemicals also we are looking at it. That's what I would like to tell.
And except aviation, are there any focuses that you have for that moment in the refinery?
Aviation and diesel are the
Diesel.
two products which we are aiming, and we are looking at whether we can produce petrochemicals. We are doing a feasibility study. We are looking at market demands. We have to be competitive and we have to have return on investment. I think we are looking at all those things. I'm sure aviation turbine fuel is very, very possible because demand is there and the hardware is there. It's about improvement. I'm sure that can happen, but other things will depend on the investment, the return on investment, and what the projection is for the future. I mean,
so you are looking for investment right now, or you need market analysis? Or?
We are looking at market analysis and the feasibility of implementing it at site. Then we will do an estimate of the cost. We have not come to that level of where we can ask for money. We have not come to that detail.
So you are searching for investment inside your company? I mean, you are investing yourself in all projects?
Yeah, we are investing in our site. Also, SR has also invested in buying some terminals nearby so that our reach and our retail outlets can increase in UK. That also we are looking at. But of course, I look at the refinery, but as SR Oil, we have bought 2 terminals in UK which will help us distribute more efficiently. Also put up more retail outlets to sell our gasoline in the UK. Those are the long-term strategies which the group is looking at.
And in your opinion, when you're gonna finalize this market analysis for you to understand for sure, like what exactly you're going to develop for the next decade, for example?
Maybe about 3 to 5 months.
Oh, so close.
Yes, we have done a lot of preliminary studies about some of those things. So that'll give us a direction to go fast or not. Now we are doing the market study and the demand and the implementability. Once it is decided, we will go much faster.
And then you're going to announce everything, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can give us some spoilers on this. What should we expect?
No, I can't give you now because I don't know. No.
No, at least something. I'm not asking for specific numbers,
I think
for example.
2 projects we are looking at. We are looking at maximizing diesel. That's a project which we are very closely monitoring. The other one is we are looking at steam and power to produce in the refinery. The existing steam producing units are very old. Reliability is low. So we are looking at a project to put new steam generators. When we are putting new steam, we can generate power and we can export that can be a product. I mean, these are very close, much advanced than the other projects which we are thinking.
Once you had this strategy, what would be
The
the next step?
after once we find it feasible and the return on investment is good, we have two options. Either we look for investment from internal accrual, or we look for external investors who can set it up on BOO or build, own, operate, and then supply to us. Both options we are looking at. So that will be finalized by the finances at that time.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing. And the next question that I have is about the project that your company SR Oil, is developing right now, because you are the part of many interesting projects for us, such as UKOP, which is UK Oil Pipeline, where you have a joint venture under the contract with Shell. And another one is that you're the part of Energy Innovation District. And it's announced will transform the effects of energy consumption in the region and across the country and across the world in the next 2 decades. So it looks like futuristic, and specifically if we talk about creation of carbon-free industry, for some people it's like unreal. So what are your thoughts? Is it realist?
I'm quite new to it, but of course the the UK government has got a very big vision to improve the environment and the carbon dioxide emission. And we being a very big industry in the UK, we are also part of it. I think it's spread over a lot of aspects. For example, they have started with home, consuming the energy at homes at much low level, providing consumers cheap power. Then they have talked about insulation in the buildings, the construction of buildings to be much efficient so that the losses are much lower. So that is home and making aware, and I think smart meters. I think these, I'm just telling from memory, smart meters so that consumptions are monitored and can be kept close. Then the industry, for example, our industry area, we are a forerunner in that. We are looking at making carbonless fuel. What it means is using hydrogen instead of hydrocarbons for products. So we are looking at an option of making a network for hydrogen to supply to the consumers. That is a big product. We are looking at producing power from waste. I think the government is doing a lot of work, and then, for example, offshore windmills is something which has come up very well, and it's producing a lot of power. Then it comes to automobiles. I believe almost 20% of hydrogen automobiles made in Europe is produced in UK. So these are all the steps they have taken towards it. And the last step is, I think, they are investing money in research to produce better technology. Another interesting project is where we are also part of it, is to capture the carbon dioxide from the emissions and then bury it in the earth. These are some of the projects
I've heard about it, and I've heard about it, and it's an interesting one. So can you tell a bit more about this?
I won't be able to share more about it, but I mean, where Stanlow is involved is two things. One is carbonless fuel, which is hydrogen, and the network and how we supply and how we use. The second is capture of carbon dioxide from the emission and bury it, sequestering it. That's the term which is used. I mean, these are the two things where we are involved. And the funding to make innovative projects. I mean, we are going to the universities, we are funding research people to do it.
So are you supporting startups as well in this case?
No,
it's just research institutes.
Yeah, no, it's undertaken by the agency, and we fund the agency, and they are distributing and doing the work. We are not directly doing any startup support. Unless something comes and it's interesting, we may look at it, but I'm not sure at this point.
Okay, totally understand. And coming back to this Energy Innovation District, I know that there are many huge companies supporting this, such as Tata Power, for example, SR Oil, and Peel Environmental, EA Technology, and many others. So what would be the SR Oil part in this project?
First thing is the implementation of this project. SR is fully committed to do this. And second is we are funding the project. The funding, the whole study, we are funding this. These are the two ways.
Okay, talking about you personally, I know that you pay a lot of attention to self-development. So what is self-development for you?
To know something if you have done wrong or some decision you have taken, it has not gone well, you try to understand what could be the reason. So sometimes you feel you jump to a decision without taking a lot of data or talking to people. So correcting and eliminating that error is what is self-development. And maybe sometimes you think you are not fit, so you go for fitness and you correct that. I mean, those are sometimes what I think. Otherwise, normally I don't go for self-development books. I don't read them. Normally I don't read them.
Okay, and today it's like a trend, you know, because many people are fond of self-development and they're buying like tons of books. So what would be your secret in case you do not read self-development books? How can you develop yourself?
One is you do retrospective. You find something went wrong or some relationship not okay, so you find out what is wrong and try to understand that. The second thing is you have seniors whom you admire, what they are doing. You try to understand that and then you try to imbibe into your style of functioning. I think these are the two things normally I do. And generally, as I told you, I would like to be transparent and open as much as possible with my people. So that helps.
Okay, and in case you achieved a lot in your life, for example, you had a tremendous career before, and do you still need to develop yourself somehow?
Oh, I think development is unending. I think it's like learning. It will never stop. You have to continuously learn in your life. Development is also that. Developing not only in your business, even family, dealing with children, dealing with relatives, everything is a development. And I think it is continuous development. You cannot stop. You have to do it.
Do you have any goals for self-development right now?
Self-development, nothing specific. I think to be healthy is a very big objective. Especially now I find I need to be healthy rather than not being healthy. That's a very big objective. And the second thing is enjoy a lot of things which I didn't have the time to do, like travel and maybe music. In fact, just before coming here, I just started learning the piano, and then I came here. Now I don't do anything. I just bought a book, how to play a piano, and I started doing every day half an hour. But now I miss it. Now I listen to the music on the piano.
So, will you learn later maybe?
Yeah, when I get the free time, I got the Casio tone in my house. I got the book how to play the piano in my house.
Do you have the piano itself?
No, the Casio tone.
Not yet, just book.
Not the piano, the Casio tone. The keyboard is there.
Ah, okay.
And then I have the book also, how to play the piano. So I've started doing that. Now when I get back the time, I'm sure that's something which I'm looking forward to. It will be very good to do.
Talking about your company development for that moment, Stanlow Refinery, what kind of technologies are of the most interest for you right now?
We are looking at a lot of automation, because we have not automized our refinery quite a lot compared to other refineries. So we are looking at a lot of automation and data collection of the refinery equipment, the management of maintenance by AI is something which we are looking at. We already called vendors who are doing this in other refineries to come and demonstrate in our refinery. I think that's the major thrust we are doing, because we feel that will improve the reliability of the company.
When are you going to invest in digitalization in your refinery?
As fast as possible, because I think in the next 3 weeks the people are going to come. We have shortlisted vendors. We have told them come and demonstrate. We have called both the vendors and we have given them, you do this portion of the refinery, this portion, and present to us. And who we feel is better, we are going to give the job to them. I think in the next.
What is the key goal for now? So are you going to digitalize some processes, or you want to come to the digital plant as a whole in the end?
The first portion which is going on now is to select and digitalize the entire refinery in phases. We'll go by phase, because otherwise it becomes very big. In phase, and we want to do for the entire refinery, the data collection and the health maintenance of the equipment, because our refinery is quite old, so that's very important, and we'll have to decide when to replace, how to replace, which are the more critical and which are the most vulnerable thing, and do it. So that's why the digitalization is going on. I think the entire refinery will have to digitalize, because the future is that helps in much better maintenance, better and cheaper and more reliable maintenance. So we will be going for the entire refinery.
So in the nearest future, we need to expect the new level of modernization in Stanlow Refinery.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. Definitely, we are looking at it.
And when are you plan to finish? I mean, do you have the plan by, for example, 2020 or 2025?
I can't remember now, but I think I can't remember the end date. But I think it's an ongoing process, and it will take 3 to 4 years to completely digitalize. And the other problem is, by the time you complete, you will have more modern technology. So it's a continuous improvement in development, which we'll be ready with. That's what the whole business is about. So it will
Yeah,
continually
that's true.
changing.
That's true. And do you want to increase capacity by new digital technologies?
We want to increase reliability.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure if we are reliable, our capacity will automatically go up. But otherwise, hardware wise, as I told you earlier, it depends on the economic evaluation. Unless it's economically evaluated and worth it, we won't be able to invest money in increasing. But digitalization is much cheaper. For example, if the reliability is 90% today, and we are saying 9 million tons, if it goes to 95, definitely the capacity will go up by a certain. We are looking at those type of low cost capacity increases.
Mm-hmm. And what I've read also before is that Essar Oil have paid all the debts for Indian lenders and for abroad lenders as well. It was like in January this year. So what would be the next step? When you're going to finalize these payments, and what would be next?
I won't be able to answer this. I'm too new to the group. I only know they have cleared all the debts. I think that was a big achievement in all the turbulence which was going on. They've cleared all the debts. But what is the next step is something which I'm too new to the group. I'm just 5 months old, so I wouldn't be able to answer. But I'm sure they have a lot of plans, because we meet the promoters almost every month and we talk, and they are encouraging us to do much better and do whatever you want to improve the refinery. That's the thing.
Okay, hopefully it's going to be brilliant. I guess 100% it's going to be a success.
It's very important also, and so it will definitely be there. At least I can see their intent to develop and to invest in new projects. I think that's a very positive sign for us.
You know, our core business area, my company BJS Group, is the organization of the events. That is why I have very important for us questions regarding the event participation, because tomorrow you're going to attend our Petrochemical and Refining Congress as well. So are you attending events on regular basis?
Yes, till I retired, I used to attend regular basis.
So it's like a part of your business development
Yes,
life?
it's part of strategy and business development, because we get exposed to a lot of new things which we might not be aware, or someone else is doing and we are not aware. So it's an opportunity for us to share and learn.
Mm-hmm. And is there any opportunity for a company, for example, who wants to start work with Tanlow refinery? For example, let's imagine that I'm the mid-scale company who is the equipment producer. Is there any opportunity that I come to you at the event and you invite me, for example, for further negotiations?
Definitely. I mean, further negotiation is too far away. The first thing is, if either when we are going around, my colleague, the chief technology manager, is also attending this event with me. We both will look at it. Wherever we find some opportunity which we think we can use, we will talk to them and give our address. Maybe ask them to share the product and its application, or where it has been applied. Then our people will evaluate it. After that, they will be invited. That's the step. I mean, without knowing the product, I cannot invite them. It doesn't make sense.
And how should I be prepared for us to continue this? I mean, what should I do before attending the Congress for me to bring something, for example, like presentation or?
No, if you think some other refinery has used it and they have found it very valuable and it is good, if they come and meet me and tell, this is what we did, then we can try it in your refinery, and if it is applicable to us, we will call them over, or we'll tell them you send the information, and after that call them over.
Coming back to events, what are the key, for example, 3 personal features should I have for you to consider me as a reliable partner?
As a company?
As a person. For example, when I come and
I mean, you will come as a company, is it?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yeah.
I'm presenting some company, but maybe there is something in me which will
individually
show you that you want to work with
I think
me.
the most important first thing you should have enough knowledge about the product. The second thing is, I think, the application of the product. I mean, whatever good features you are good enough, but if the product is not applicable to me, I wouldn't be able to use it. And the third is the way you will come and approach me. I mean, it has to be liking. If you don't like the person immediately, I mean, you might be much more difficult to do business. But I think the first 2 are the product, and third is the individual. Like, you'll have to be friendly, you'll have to feel good. that natural interaction should start automatically. I think that's an important aspect. Otherwise, it will become difficult, even if the products are good for you to get in.
So am I right that you mostly fond of classical music?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Western classical. Even Indian classical is quite a lot of varieties there. But I love Western classical.
And maybe something else. Which other genres
Oh,
of
I
music
like
you
rock music. My college rock, the music I used to enjoy when I was in college. I still listen to that.
Have you been in the band?
No, I've never been in the band. I listen to the band. I go and see the band.
Who is your favorite artist? Your favorite
So
band?
Mozart is composer.
Uh-huh.
But in my college music, I think a lot of music is there. I love Pink Floyd. I like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I think I like a group called Bread. I don't know whether you will know or not. This must be old. I like Beatles.
Do you visit any concerts or festivals?
Yes, I visited, especially in Chester. I get very good opportunity. Lot of concerts are held in the Chester Cathedral. You should go to Chester Cathedral. Beautiful building, and the acoustics are so good. So whenever there's a concert, I go there. In India, it was more difficult. You know, you get once or twice a year. Whereas in Chester, it's much more frequent. I go whenever I'm there. I go.
And some researchers say that classical music helps to concentrate a lot and it helps to develop mentally as well. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it is true, but for me, I'm sure it helps me to de-stress.
Distress.
Yes, especially when I come back home, and nowadays I have to listen to it, and if I don't listen to it, I can see me getting irritated. So it seems to be having effect on me. But about the development, I don't know. But I've read books about development. I believe sometimes people are not well. They play some classical music and they've seen improvement in the people health and the general well-being. Definitely for me, it de-stresses me.
And what other ways of being distressed, you know?
I used to play a lot of games when earlier, like tennis and all that.
What kind of games?
Tennis or
tennis.
squash when I was there. But now I've come to Chester. I watch games. I listen to music. I go for a walk or a run. And that's what keeps me healthy or distressed.
And if we talk about being at work and being at home, are you combining everything? For example, some businessmen, then they come back to home, they anyway continue working.
Now I'm not doing it, but about 10 years back, we had to do it because you get calls home and all that. But last 4-5 years, when I come back home, I try to detach and not get into work unless something very urgent or something or a call comes. Otherwise, normally I try to leave. Once I come home, I don't want, because already at office you are stressed and you want to, because otherwise you can't get concentration the next day and you lose energy.
While I was preparing for the interview, I've been studying your career path, and I was amazed how many projects you had before, and specifically that you've been working at Bharat Petroleum Corporation, and you started as the management trainee, and you grow into the executive director, and that's impressive. So how difficult was it?
I can't remember. It was a very good journey, and I think we had a lot of luck.
Was it just luck from your side?
No, a lot of luck, because a lot of people would have done the same effort, but we were at the right time in the right growth time of the company. Of course, we had a lot of hard work and a lot of new things we had to do to make the company grow. So I think it's a combination of a lot of hard work, good luck, maybe 30%.
Okay, and you've participated in many projects in companies where you've been working, concentrating on raising the financial efficiency. Specifically, I've read about Bina Refinery project, FCCU project, and many others. So, how did you manage to come to the financial efficiency in this company?
The financial efficiency of the performance of the company was important. So one of the ways we improved the financial efficiency was putting in value-added project. For example, if FCCU was there, we debottleneck the unit so that more value addition can come. I think we had a hydrocracker project which was operating, and then we modified and we implemented a project to produce base oil. That was a very big jump. Bina was a very big project. It was a grassroots refinery in central India. There was a lot of agencies being such a big project.
And which decisions helped you to achieve your goal in the frames of this project?
I won't talk about Bina because that was a project where we were more technically involved rather than finance. But the other projects, I think it all depended on two things: how much value it was adding, and whether in the long term it was sustainable or not. Even though if in 2 years if it is giving value, but we had to see whether in the long term it was a sustainable project. These two were the decisions which made sure that we could get the money from the company.
And were they sustainable in the end?
I think these are projects you're talking about 10 to 15 years back. I think I just happened to go home 1 month back. They are all running very well, and I think it's adding
So
value.
still from that time they're
it's
still running very well.
Bina refinery is a very big refinery. I remember talking to the MD who's a colleague of mine who was working with me. It was a 6 million ton refinery. He was very proudly saying now we have done it to 9 million tons. I think that was a great achievement, great value addition.
And except, of course, it was luck, it was hard working, and maybe something else that you've done. Maybe you like had a big team who helped you, or it was a lot of your decisions. How did you manage to do this?
Oh, definitely it was the team. I had a fantastic team. I think most of the decisions didn't come to me unless it was not my juniors were not able to take. Otherwise, I was not taking the decisions. But there were a few decisions which used to come to me. I think that time, I think one of the important thing about doing a project is having a risk-taking ability. I think we weighed the pros and cons. We thought, okay, it's worth taking the risk. If it succeeds, it's a big thing. That was one thing which helped us to move forward. Maybe if you're not risk-taking, then you might not have done it. I think that is a very big aspect of projects and going forward.
And I know that while working at Bharat Petroleum, you also took part in the, creating the strategy till 2020. So are you still keeping an eye on this?
Yes, and I was very lucky. The chairman of the company one day called me and said, Paddy, you are in charge of the task force for refining and petrochemicals of our company for the next 5 years. You have to find it. I mean, it's such a great opportunity for someone with all the experience to do it. We had refining capacity. We wanted to go to 50 million tons. We were about 30 million tons that time. In 5 years, we wanted to be 50 million.
Wow. So did they succeed to achieve this?
We are almost at 47.
Wow, so close.
And the refinery where I last worked as the managing director, that is also a group refinery. They got approval for a project to put a 6 million tons, which they'll put up in 4 years. So I think we will be able to do it. The more important part was we had to decide whether Bharat Petroleum should go to petrochemicals and what petrochemicals. So we decided to go, and the project is coming up to produce petrochemicals from propylene, which is the first time in India it's being produced. And that project also is nearing completion. I think it's a great teamwork, project implementation.
So it was 100% right decision from your side.
In hindsight, it is. When we were doing, we had a lot of, I said, the risk taking. It was a calculated risk, but I think every company had, finally now refineries have to go to petrochemicals to diversify. So I think in that way it was very good. And the biggest decision was to produce a product which was not being made in India. That was, I think, a very good decision for us.
And what were the key challenges for you, except the fact that it has never been produced in India? What else you came across?
We had a great experience. We didn't have the technology. We had to tie up with companies for technology, and many companies were not willing to share the technology. We had a bad experience. We worked for 1.5 years with a company. I don't want to name it. We worked and we were ready to sign, and in the last minute they said we are not signing.
Wow.
And after that our team picked up, and now it's coming to commissioning. It's going to commission in the next 8 to 9 months. I think that's great. That was challenge.
So
I think our team didn't give up. That was a big thing to do.
So did you motivate your team not to give up, or everyone was motivated enough themselves?
Oh yeah, that was the most important, to keep my team was, I was lucky I had a very good team, were motivated. Not only that was a challenging job to make the strategy of a Fortune 500. Bharat Petroleum is a Fortune 500 company. I think it's about 357 big across India. We almost have about 15,000 employees. So to decide on the strategy was something which was really motivating. We had this pitfall. I think we came back from that failure, and I think our team has done fantastic.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
amazing. While studying your career path, I saw that you've been working at many refineries. So how many of them you've been working at?
Yeah. So I was working with Bharat Petroleum. Bharat Petroleum has 2 refineries, one in Bombay, one in Kochi. It had a joint venture project in Bina, which is a joint venture, and it had a subsidiary called the Numaligarh Refineries, where I was working the last 4 years as the managing director. So I worked in all these. I mean, I was the refineries coordinator for Bharat Petroleum before I moved out of Bharat Petroleum. So I think these 4 refineries, and of course in India we used to work very closely because most of the refineries were government owned. Although the companies were different, they were government owned. So we used to interact, and the close interaction between refineries used to happen.
And how did you manage to start working for Stanlow Refinery?
That is, I retired in the year 2017.
Retires?
Retired.
Really?
Yes. I retired from the Numaligarh Refineries thing, and for 1 year I did not take up a job because I was exhausted.
So you had the rest for a year?
Yeah?
You had the rest for a year?
Yes, I needed the rest because working was very...
Yeah, of course, working so much.
Yeah, so much, and although everything was good, but it takes its toll on you. So for 1 year I retired, and then one day I got a call from my friend saying, "Paddy, send me your biodata." Actually, I was on a holiday somewhere. Luckily, I had it on my mobile, so I sent it to him. After 2 days, the CEO of SR Refinery, Stanlow, gave me a ring. "Paddy, come and join." And then I joined after 2 months, and now I have finished 5 months in SR.
Wow, congratulations
Oh,
on this.
thanks.
Maybe you can give some advice for those who just became top managers and they are in multitask all the time. So what would be your advice for them?
My advice would be to be fully committed to the job, do your best, but make sure you have enough time, free time for your family and friends, because that's important. Without that, you might not be able to excel and take care of your health, because without health, nothing can be done. So take care of your health, enjoy life with the stress. That's more important.
Okay, that's the best advice, I guess. And coming back, you said that about 10 or 15 years ago you had to work a lot and you lived in multitasking all the time. So how did you manage to cope with everything?
I think I was lucky. My family was very supportive of me. That's lucky. My wife also works, so she could understand the pressures. And we really committed to the job and we enjoyed the job. These 2 things were important. I mean, if you're not committed and if you're not enjoying your job, then it would have had a bad effect. You won't do a lot of things which you are supposed to. So we were lucky to enjoy our job. Like I told you, the strategy for a company to be done, everyone doesn't get the opportunity, and my team also was there very good. So that keeps you energized to do that. I think that's the thing. If you will have to enjoy your job, otherwise you won't be able to do all this what you want.
Okay, do you like traveling?
Oh yes, I enjoy traveling.
Which top 3 countries are your favorites?
To travel.
Yes.
First is India.
But you are from India.
No.
You're traveling around in
Yes,
India.
you can't imagine the amount of variety in our country is so much. When I went to Assam, as I told you, that was more difficult for me to adjust than coming from Bombay to England. England was easier adjusting. I mean, that's the variety, the food difference, the cultural difference. India, Europe is some place where I've traveled a lot.
And which country from Europe?
Oh, I've traveled to Greece, I've traveled to Italy, I've traveled through Holland.
And which one is the best based
I love
on your
Greece.
opinion? Greece.
I love
Why?
it.
Because of the sea?
Sea and the islands. You go to the island, you don't do anything. Once you go to one island, you just every day morning go to the sea and come back. It's perfect. Especially when you're working.
Okay, and what is the perfect vacation for you?
Just do nothing or do whatever you want. I don't like to do anything. I mean, if left to me, I don't want to go and see 10 places. I would like to see one place. I would enjoy if there is a sun and if there is sea around. I like to go and have a swim, lie on the beach.
Okay, so you achieved a lot in your life. You have a very good career, you have a very good family. What are your key goals for now?
Key goals now is, I mean, 2 things come top of my mind. One is, you're so lucky you got whatever you want. How you give back to the society. Do something which the society, in return to the society, to help the people. The second thing is, share whatever you gained, the knowledge and all that, with the people, especially people working with you and juniors. You share. I think these are the 2 things. Nothing more.
Okay. I have the small parts which calls blitz questions. Let us start. Do you prefer paper books or audiobooks?
Paper books.
And what kind of paper books?
I've read a lot of books. I mean, anything, any subject, fiction is mostly what I read. A lot of modern improvement also I read about.
And which one is your favorite? Do you have a favorite book?
Book. Fiction you're talking about?
I mean the name of the book or maybe author?
Author, I have a lot of authors. I mean, I like an author called John Steinbeck. I like P.G. Wodehouse. I used to read a lot of it. I like a lot of Indian writers like Vikram Seth, Amitav Ghosh. Murakami is a Japanese writer who writes. I mean, I enjoy his books, although sometimes I wonder what he is writing about, but it keeps you going. I mean, these are some of the books I read.
Yeah, he have a lot of impressive books.
Yeah.
Motivating also. And what is the most important habit of a top manager?
Habit is to be very truthful, transparent.
Okay. 3 types of food that you don't eat.
3 types of food I don't eat. I eat all food, any food, except I can't eat the Japanese, what is it called? Sushi. Sushi I can't eat.
Why?
I tried once, but I didn't enjoy it. So I didn't eat. Otherwise, any food I should be able to eat.
Okay, great. During the Holi festival, have you ever been to Holi festival?
Yeah, I've been to.
Okay. Which color is your favorite?
Holi festival, have you been to Holi festival?
Yes, but in Russia.
You should go to India.
We have sometimes.
Okay. Normally it's blue and pink is what the color is put on us, and finally you don't know what color. It's like a rainbow, all sorts of colors, and water is put on us. So we all play that.
Okay, what would you like to change in your past?
Nothing much.
So you are satisfied 100%?
I'm happy, satisfied mate, but I'm very happy, I'm lucky.
Okay, that's great. What is the most modernized refinery in the world?
Wow.
In your opinion?
I think there are 2 refineries in India. I think the SR refinery in India was quite good, modern. The Reliance refinery in India, I've seen Solomon reports and all reporting that they are very modern. They're almost the largest and very efficient. I think these 2, the SR and Reliance refinery, is what I know.
Okay, so then India or Great Britain?
India or Great Britain? In summer, Great Britain. In winter, India.
Why so?
The weather is so cold in winter, so it's good to be in India in winter.
But in summer, in Great Britain, it's not that hot as well.
Yeah, but it's nice and pleasant. India is very hot. India is 40 degrees, whereas Britain is 20 degrees. So it's nice to be in summer in India.
Okay. What is the most irrational purchase that you've made?
I bought a house. I bought a house. Once I went to see the house and I was watching the sunset from the balcony. It was on the 12th floor. And I saw the sunset.
It was irrational purchase? Like a house?
Yes.
Wow.
I just saw the house. I said, I'm buying this, and I gave a down check.
Okay.
Just because of this. In Bombay, I bought it.
Okay, and the last one. Where would you go if you had a time machine?
I'll go to the Egyptian and Indus civilization 4,000, 5,000 years, because the way they have built the pyramids, you wonder how they did it. Even in India, there is a civilization, Mohenjo-daro civilization, the town planning, everything is so good. You wonder how these were built when technologies were not there. I mean, it's just inquisitiveness. And I'm
Very
sure,
interesting.
yeah, and I'm sure they would have had a good life that time if they can do all that and civilization was growing. So it would have been a good time to be there.
Okay, great.